Boo, 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 boo. Just the dope ass podcast. Boo, 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 boo. I be forgetting the beat every time, but y'all get new beats.
Uh,
You
yeah,
know,
I'm about to say,
a
we
win.
got new beats before, and they was taking our shit down for the new beats that we didn't beat. So
Nah,
here's
it
that
was.
fresh beat.
Yeah, it was a couple months ago. Even after that, I went to the email and I had like looked at it's Spotify, boy. Like Spotify be put out a Rico and said like anything that we smell or some type of you know, royalty, this, that, and the third, swiping it. So, you know, to said artist, whoever it may be, because at this point, I don't fucking know. This X amount of years in. I like y'all music
That's
though.
what happens. What happens when white folks don't want to pay their tab?
Man, them niggas been coming
That's
in fucking
basically what it is.
they was swiping all that goddamn shit. Yeah, it was one time I know they hit us for like, I don't know, it was like 8 or something on Spotify. But I don't know if that's like just in general or some spot. I don't know the fucking rules, guys. Word to the music niggas. Cause that whole royalty creative shit. It's a lot. Get your money, man, or whatever. Um, Hi guys. Welcome back to us being the most consistent and non-scheduled niggas you've ever fucking met. Cause I man, fuck y'all. Niggas got life. And I'm trying to I'm trying to get to it, boy. I mean, got this motherfucking degrees on 2 wheels, nigga.
Like I'm about to ride this. We
Yeah,
gon'
man. I'm
we gonna
sliding these
slide
slide these motherfuckers every goddamn chance I get.
as you should,
Oh
as
man.
you should.
Yeah,
But
I don't even know if I have like any like recent
yeah,
events
yeah,
or whatever that
yeah,
y'all
yeah,
talking about.
yeah,
Because
you do. Yeah, you
you
do.
know,
You know you do. You got plenty, man.
it's been a month.
We
It's
we
been y'all do something new every day, actually. And in my mind, I'd be sitting there like, oh, there's a therapeutic take, and it'd be 7 different fucking things. You know what? Actually thinking about it. I'm starting out geeky. You know why? Because I had two of my last sessions heavy Fantastic Four and heavy
Mhm,
Fantastic Four usage as like a
mhm,
fucking topic for you know, I don't know. One was like definitely like the family spiel, and then one was just like, you know, general rapport building. But I wish there was like another term for like, or a better, sometimes a better term for rapport building. Cause that shit is that it's not just it's not the only thing,
mhm.
but like, boy, that shit is my motherfucking meat and potatoes. I'm a rapport motherfucker, man.
I mean, oh, you mean as far as like writing it on the notes,
Sometimes writing
or
on
you
notes,
just
but I mean like sometimes when I like even have conversations with like people in general and then people in the field of like, because for example, I uh I had an elder statesman random conversation. I got one of these shirts to say like black therapist, something other on it.
Mhm.
And I went to Best Buy because I needed to get I needed to get a cord to like restart the hard drive because I was fucking about to explode my computer with all these fucking episodes and edits and shit. So girl there, she was like, oh my God, I want to be a therapist, da 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 da. And we ended up having this like weird, like fucking 10-15 minute conversation about like, you know, courses to take, what did I do, how, you know, field, where places you can work, you know, kind of explaining to her like, you know, the agency route, you know, that's kind of my route, been my route, or
Mhm.
like, you know, people in private practice and da 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 da. And then we got in this whole conversation about rapport building, and it was like that became like the crux of it. And I was like, I know it sounds like silly, like you get to know people like, and we're talking right now, but I was like, what we're doing right now is like, I shit you not, this is like this is what you need to do like the best in order to get all the stuff. Like you'll get into school and you'll be hyper focused on, you know, diagnosis and all the terms and all the, which is really dope. But the way that shit lands, boy, you got to be a cool motherfucker. And yeah, I realized like sometimes like that conversation be sounding like, oh yeah, we have to get to know him. I was like, nah, nigga, that's kind of a skill set. I know a couple motherfuckers, or I've run into a couple motherfuckers who could, diagnose you in 30 seconds, couldn't talk to you about the weather.
No, I say when I went to the memorial, I think I mentioned that earlier off air. Went to my when his family throws a memorial for him. Like at first it was every year, now it's every kind of like landmark year or something. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. Hey, hey, how you doing? Um, how do I explain it? My homeboy, good nigga. But I'm like, what you been up to? And I just explaining what I've been up to. Like, I'm building a business, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. He's like, nigga, you ain't building no business. You ain't doing no work for real. And I was like, at first I was about to say, "Nigga, what the fuck is you talking about?" He's like, no, like you getting a degree and all that stuff, that was doing the work. You at this point getting paid to just be yourself. And I was like, you know what? I kind of give you that. And putting it in that in regard of like the hardest part of the job to me, or from my perspective, is like the rapport building, building connections, nurturing relationships, being able to be personable, having healthy conversation, creating a safe space, all these different words that we may use. But the better that we are at being able to facilitate conversation, to nurture a healthy, safe space with people, to help them be able to communicate and feel comfortable doing so and relating to them, the job is so much easier after that. Minus like the paperwork shit if you work for an agency. When you get independent, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
that stuff is kind of taken care of for you. A lot of platforms kind of have it. You don't have to do DMH or DCFS type paperwork if you don't work for a certain agency, and that makes the job so
Yeah,
much
I'm,
easier.
I'm learning the thing or two. Let me tell you what.
You're learning little by little. Huh? You figuring it out
Yeah, shit. I like it. I'll tell you that
as you
right
should,
now. I got a little like it to it.
as you should. But yeah, it's like the hardest part is really just humanizing motherfuckers and having healthy conversations with them. And if you can do that, everything else is I won't say easy, but in comparison, getting somebody to feel comfortable just talking to you and having built rapport with them, knowing how to build rapport in a timely manner, that makes night and day. You can help walk them through all types of scenarios and know every modality in the book. You can know every intervention in the book, but if you can't connect with them or they don't feel connected to you or at least trusting of you in certain capacity, you can give them the perfect blueprint. They're not going to listen. Whereas if you got good rapport with them, I can explain to you that the sky is green and your ass will believe it. Not to say that that's what I'm doing. People think that we out here lying to people intentionally, but I'm just highlighting the importance of rapport building. Like when people feel safe enough to actually explore things, they are more receptive to the information.
Yeah, I think that was I'm noticing like those some of those like differences with company wise and fucking private practice ish wise in like even how I go about that. Cause like agency wise, nigga, you be so ready to be like, all right, man, I got you for a certain amount of time. I gotta make sure I'm doing enough that is, viable for, DMH for the note. So nigga, I remember I had my first couple on the private side and I was like fucking gunslinging. And I was like, oh wait, we can kind of we can kind of talk a little bit. Oh shit. Uh, yeah, cool, man. Tell me why you fuck with Johnny Storm or whatever. I think actually, oh man, if I ever like met them, I think I got a whole bunch of fucking geek shit that I fuck with. I would have to really, really fuck with these Fantastic Four niggas, specifically for the reasons that I felt like the movie got a little bit of criticism. Motherfuckers go to movies and they expect everybody to just explode and do whatever. Not gonna lie, I was a big fan. I fuck with the film. Most people fuck with the film. It wasn't like it was like a ton of whatever. But the way that they like framed them niggas, like they made them the first Marvel's first family, and they function like
Mm-hmm.
a family. It was a lot of connection shit, a lot of parts of the movie where it's like just them in the house hanging out, like they care about each other and shit. Oh, that shit gave me so much width to talk about. I was like, oh yeah, if I ever meet these niggas, we all gotta hang out. I owe everybody on that cast to drink at least maybe one or two. Cause the way I was like, oh, yeah, brother sister dynamic. And then that turned into like family dynamics. And it's like, oh yeah, I have such and such, and it was like it reminds me, and I align with Reed and me and my lady, and I was like, oh yeah, this motherfucker's cooking for me, man. Goddamn Storms and Richards helping me to fuck out. Shout
I,
out to Ben Grimm, boy.
I think part of that, I don't think I've seen any studies around it, but I think that should be added into cultural competency. Like for our field, when we talk about cultural competency, we may talk about racial cultures or, proximity cultures as far as what country you're from. For us as Black people, I think we kind of have the ability of understanding like neighborhood culture, like not just what city or state you from, but like what the culture. Oh, you from Compton? That's a different culture than Gardena. It's similar
Mm-hmm.
that it's Southern California, but it's still different. You from Carson versus Lancaster or something like that. Like we understand those nuances, but saying that just add in having a knowledge around subcultures, not just a neighborhood, but also like geek culture or things of that nature. That's cultural competency, and that shit helps so much. Like you can take pop culture shit, kind of like what we already do on the show for years, people. In case you hadn't noticed, you take pop culture shit, you take music, you take nerd shit, you take all these things, and you can use it as a conduit to help connect to people and help them understand you and you understand them. But that's cultural competency. Oh, you a geek? You like nerd shit? Cool. What nerd shit do you like? Oh, I like astrophysics. Oh, I have some understanding of shit from, it may be the smallest thing. I know a little bit from Bill Nye the Science Guy and a little Neil deGrasse Tyson. I can pull some shit out my
Mm-hmm.
ass to help you understand what I'm explaining. Or you're really into wrestling? Cool. I know some wrestling analogies. Even if I'm not up on it for right now, I grew up watching wrestling. So I can take the golden age of wrestling, use that as references. But like these are subcultures that we can be aware of, which help us connect to people a whole lot more. But I don't always see that part talked about in the field as much, at least with the,
Like, man, that's my whole fucking shtick. And I definitely, I definitely, well shit that we definitely use the wiggle room it gives, because it's like, yeah, was this a very chaotic fucking meme? For sure. Can I flip this bitch into something that like makes I guarantee you, bitch. That's one hill I ain't gonna never. That's a hill I'm gonna kill you on. I'm standing firm on that framing. That's one hill I think I'll forever, because I've had a couple of those. We've had like a little bit of new followership, but usually this conversation always happens with like people we know, and it's like like that particular post or whatever fucking thing that was said was a certain type of unhinged, but it was like, well, it was, but I was like, I got an explanation for it. Now, whether you rock with it is, you know, completely completely up to you. Between that
Right.
and I do have a little bit of fun with I don't even know how to necessarily use this information. In my head, I'm gonna eventually use it for like real positive educational means. But watching how motherfuckers who and everybody isn't a follower, right? And isn't like super up on like the whole premise of the page, but watching how shit that's made or said is interpreted, I do get a little like, it's not a kick. I'm not like, oh yeah, but I am interested in seeing how motherfuckers take that shit and perceive it. And I watch a couple of little debates, because this one that's kind of having a little traction. I said something about like hate. Also, fair warning, guys, like I'm never talking about like us or really what we're actually going through. I have a job and a half, and the minute a funny idea pops in that I could half-ass create or whatever, like I want niggas to know I'm I ain't requested revenge on the motherfucker my whole life. Like, but it does, I don't know, kind of inform me, especially if I'm thinking about like dudes, because I think about all communities. I serve all communities, but obviously, like, there's always this talk about dudes. Black men for sure is at the top, always at the forefront of my mind. But the male loneliness epidemic and all the fucking shit that's going, any dude in male centered conversation, and those be motherfuckers who we get a lot of reposts and interact with the shit a lot. So watching how those niggas either perceive it or how they'll post some shit and put their own little caption to it, and it's like, so it's y'all feeling like this. I could frame some, I haven't ascended to that level of therapist to create like workshops and books or whatever. But I'm like, it's a community out there, and not just for profit. It's like some of you niggas legit. Some of y'all are like, some of y'all are cornballs. I don't take back anything that I've ever said to kick y'all's backs in. But I do see a bit of like, you click it and it's like, you're 45, you have to work through this a bit. You're 17, you're just malleable. Like, I can't speak to what your experience is altogether, but a lot of your shit, I think, is what's on the internet that just says, fuck it all, burn it all, hate it all. It's like, man, like, you seem like a chipper young fella in this photo. And, that doesn't mean I know your life, but it just is funny watching all that shit, kind of how they perceive it. And it's like, oh, okay, man, there's a trend of this internet shit is dangerous because some of y'all have to go outside. I'm not saying it's not
Mhm.
bad in its own respective rights. You do have, a douchebag douchebag in charge, but y'all have this perception of the world via like this screen, and it is doing fucking numbers on y'all asses.
I've had this conversation a lot in the last week of how conditioned we are. I know we've talked about it before on the page and off air, but it comes up a lot because I don't think we fully realize how conditioned we are to social media, especially with the younger generations. Um, Kind of like the post I think I shared with you about David Justice and Halle Berry's relationship, and like it has multiple slides of him explaining his perspective, but every time, not just with this post, but in general. No, yeah, go ahead, stretch. Get ready.
Relationship bullshit on here. We was been political for a couple episodes. It can give you a little something, something today, nigga. Because y'all been
No,
acting.
but maybe not. But it's not even that. I'm more so speaking not just to the relationship thing. We can come back to that part, but like him sharing multiple slides, his perspective, how the relationship with this, that, and the other, blah blah blah, and explaining. Not saying anything derogatory, not saying anything hateful, not saying anything mean. And people in the comments just completely didn't pay attention to what he actually said because a perspective that they've already had before they went and looked at the post, right? And I think I mentioned to you of like, yeah, that's how deep the conditioning is. People will look dead at something, but they will not perceive it for what it's actually telling them because they've been conditioned to receive things a particular way. And like you said, with the teenagers, they're malleable, but how malleable are they depending on how much social media and these things that they've ingested? Whereas the older people, sometimes I may argue that they are a little bit more malleable than younger people because their contextual experience in their life has helped them understand that sometimes you just might be wrong. Aside from the red hat niggas, the red hat niggas don't really understand the bottoms of their feet, so we ain't gonna talk about them. But in general, most adults are like, yeah, I could be wrong, and then when you show them some shit, they be like, you know what, I was not expecting that. I still may stay on my side, but at least I'm willing to hear some other stuff. Whereas the youngins are like feverishly leaning into what they think, and life is going to have to beat that perspective out of it. Respectfully.
I've seen a bit of that. Don't worry, guys. I stretched on purpose. I'm gonna come back to the Halle Berry shit, like you said.
Yeah.
But with the difference in generation, that makes me think because I was well, two things. One, there was something you said in there that made me think about it was something I was watching, and they were discussing how whether you make music, whether you make, especially like I think they were talking also framing it in the perspective of podcast, because a lot of motherfuckers do what we do. You clip it whatever way gets you the traction, and they were having this whole deep conversation about how you negotiate how you're perceived or what your message does, because 9 times out of 10, a lot of motherfuckers who are your social media whatever's don't translate to the actual thing. Surprise! Holy shit! Never knew that. Um, so it got into this kind of got into the weeds of like responsibility around your messaging, and um, I think that's a valid conversation. I kind of live in the space of what I said before. Like, I know what I'm doing here, or what I think I'm doing. So, if you like us as a meme page, cool. If you like us as like a comedic page, cool. Still a therapist. And so if you ever wanted to peruse on to get the whole conversation, I'm down to give you that. Um, but that does make me think like generationally, like where I've had the most success and where I get, I guess, the most pushback. And even that is still contextual because I always think about like my clients that I've had in facilities or group homes or something, but I had the added bonus that I'm with you every day. I'm with you every
Mhm.
day for the span of no less, fuck 8 hours. I'm with you no less than 10 hours a day. Just fucking right. So I'm in a lot of senses, we raise them for the time we have them. So I'm able to instill tons of shit. So you're pretty malleable, but that's under the guise that I'm like on your fucking head every day. And taking into account, I'm on your fucking head in the way that certain types of staff or individuals are that like treat it as a little more than a job. I'm not trying to fucking gas or something like that, but if I'm there and I give a shit, it wasn't like they was. It ain't like they should. Also, don't get me on that because that they should pay them a bunch of fucking money. If you're anybody's line staff, you should be making money out the ass. Fuck degrees or whatever. You there every day. They should get making money out the ass. So I say all that to say this motherfucker's there that are actively in kids' lives, whatever population you serve's lives, and you have the ability to kind of you know really push. I have like a newfound understanding on like how rigid some people can be because I have a lot of things, but that's in the framework of parents. So when I'm working with parents, a lot of the parents that I've seen, you end up sometimes, unless if you drop the ball, you end up doing a bit of I'm not fixing your kid, nigga. We as a unit are conducting. You have to do some change here. I'm not here to jump on a motherfucker that's been on Earth 10 years. You're 30, 40, whatever. It's you, baby. Like I'm you right there. You. So
I I wanna add in a little bit of an extra perspective. I don't want to say extra perspective. I'll say extra context.
mhm.
Because sometimes, yeah, for the adults, it is us that are contributing to how the kids see things or don't see things because we're not doing it properly. I want to say even like I had a conversation earlier. Friend of mine in DC, she works in education. She's been working in education, I think, like 15 years. Been a teacher, been an assistant principal, creates curriculum and runs programs and all types of stuff in DC. Like she's got the credentials, but to the point you made earlier, like the direct service route and still not getting properly compensated for it.
Mhm.
How even sometimes us working in the field because of not being compensated for the amount of investment that we are putting into these children directly, sometimes that can contribute to us not being our best selves
Oh fuck
when
so.
we're influencing these minds. So I know the same thing can be said about the parents who are taking care of these children and also not being compensated for the amount of labor and man hours that they're putting into things because that does affect us. I think I've talked about it on here, but I talk about it a lot in therapy. Like, the hierarchy of needs. You ain't got your basic needs, man. That's gonna fuck up how you see everything in general, which fucks with a lot of black people. That's another structural
Well,
conversation that we can have or systemic conversation that we can have. But yeah.
yeah, that actually adds like an extra piece because I'm not talking to Tom the stockbroker and his fucking rock star real estate wife and their son who has attitude issues. Like I am all of my clients, all of the families that I have are 9 times out of 10. There's a bunch of systemic issues that put in like you don't have the time to unpack your stuff and how it is affecting your kid because y'all trying to fucking eat today. So shit that completely upends where I was going because it's way
Yeah.
more. I will say this, my usual shit. It is way more complicated than motherfuckers give it credit, and I sometimes I wish I was like just like less of a moral person so I could just have like a concrete stance and just say some clickbaity shit on here. Because if you're listening to this, I feel like you waiting, like you might have been waiting for the crash out. But it is such a fucking like complicated thing because on the flip side, like you said, I've seen a lot of that. I think more in like an individual conversation where it's like I meet a kid, or I guess maybe different time frames because I meet a kid kids don't have the perspective that you have. You're still growing, your brain's not developed. So yeah, I'm met early on with a strong Nigga, fuck you. I know everything because I'm fucking 19. Eat a dick. And then as you develop the relationship, they, had their moments. You end up having those, those crucial moments to really connect. Now you become like a lifeline. They rely on you for, communication and guidance, whatever way that looks like, therapeutically, brother, sisterly, whatever Lee. And I guess sometimes I've said it with like adults where it's like you would be rigid until like you hit rock bottom. I guess maybe that's the thing. If you can catch them in the youth, you're trying to avoid them becoming the adults that have to hit the ground going fucking 200 miles an hour and then go fuck it, bro. I don't have no other outlets. I'm literally at my wits end. It's still fixable. It's still very fucking like doable. It's just kind of, I guess, your preference because you have to. I think like I've had this become a thing that I've said more often now in the past couple of years of like working with like kids or youth or adolescents is like we might have to revisit this another way in a couple of years. Like we've resolved it enough that you can resolve it for 9, but somewhere around 17, this might need a little tune up because you have more perspective, you have different, you've had different actions, you've grown, and it's like, oh shit, this I wasn't affected by this in this area, but also I wasn't 17 driving, going to parties and attracted to girls now. And now whatever that was that I thought we did is like sparking itself up in a different way. Maybe not a fucking ruin your life way, but I should maybe kind of go talk about this to kind of process this through a little bit. Because I couldn't process it
Yeah.
as much as I could at fucking 9. Because I'm 9.
I, at least as it comes to me right now, I can see how like using the Fantastic Four reference could be explained or use this of like say the it can be, but like the Fantastic Four personality types, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Something I don't know how it is in the movie, but I remember like in the old cartoon when we were growing up, they're like, yeah, this family went to space, and in space they go through this little force field that changes them molecularly and all this other stuff, right? But like the field that they go through that changes them, that's the environment that you grow up in. And it changes you into one of four personality types. You can be, Johnny, who hothead, you get flamed easily. You get angry, you get upset, you get this, you get that. You can turn into fucking Sue, who she's trying to do a lot of mental telepathy to block her and shield herself from all types of things. You can turn into Mr. Fantastic, who's extra malleable, figuring out ways to stretch and bend to the accommodations of the world and other people. And, that's your strength. Or you can become Ben Grimm, who's you have this hardened shell around you that keeps you from being as soft as you need to, and you just can destroy shit. And how we help you understand that as a child after you've already gone through these stages can help you understand if that's going to be my prison. Like, this is the thing. I just explained them negatively, but can we frame this into you being a Fantastic Four character where you turn that into a shrimp? Yes, Ben Grimm may have this hardened shell, but he can use that to defend himself and others in certain ways while also still having a softer interior as opposed to exterior. There's ways to kind of explain it, but the stages of that, how you are as a child, you're probably going to develop into one of these four characters. How can I help you understand how to become that as an adult, flip it into a positive? So even when I come across said adult that ain't did the work yet, I can recognize which of the four you are, and then flip it into a positive. This is just pulling it out of my ass right now. I'd have to dive into that a little bit deeper.
I was trying not to laugh midway, but that was so fucking good. And like, I didn't use the Fantastic Four in no way like you just said it. And the whole time I used them shits in two separate sessions, wildly different ages. I sincerely just focused on. I mean, it worked. I ain't gonna like blast myself, but it was completely focused on like their like interpersonal dynamics, like as a family,
Mhm.
and like
Yeah, no, which is that's a good way of using it. I was like,
oh,
I just took
that
a different
was
approach. I took a personality approach. You took a relational approach as a
oh
unit.
that shit was, but that was so fun. That shit was right there, and I was like, I never even thought to use the four of them as ways. Hey,
Free
fuck y'all,
game,
man.
man.
That's funny as shit to me.
But
I
that's
don't
I think
know.
that's in real time me showing how like the cultural competency piece I talked about earlier can help us address whatever personality type we're coming in contact with at whatever age we're experiencing them. As a kid, they may just get the basis of it because these are comic book characters that just came out with a movie, so it's something I can reference. Whereas an adult, it's nostalgic for us, but we can also present it. It's kind of like adult fucking Inside Out to a degree.
Oh fuck
All
yeah.
these different person. Yeah. So it's
I don't know,
like,
man. Inside
but
Out
I,
is almost adult Inside Out. Now that I've watched it, I spent a long time wearing these fucking shirts with Inside Out characters.
oh
And
yeah.
watch the film. I'm, Inside Out is almost just kind of adult Inside Out. Like
Oh,
what
absolutely. It's
is
dope as shit. I haven't seen part two, but part one enough does a pretty good job of explaining, excuse me, different shit. But yeah, I think those type of ways could help us make the adults that are more rigid less rigid by even adding in another layer of it. This is fucking inner child work because I know your childhood remembers comic book characters like the Fantastic Four. The cartoon's been on TV in three different generations as a cartoon. I know you saw at least one of them at one point in time.
fuck yeah.
I can appeal to the childhood aspect of you to help you understand why you should be less either malleable, yes, defensive, less angry, or less hardened and guarded or strong. So there's so many different layers to it, but to your point earlier, not to deviate too far from it, yes, sometimes the adults can be more rigid, but I think that's both the adults that are taking care of said child or dealing directly with said youth versus the adults that are working with them. We both suffer the same type of shit because we all got environments to navigate, which affects how we, perceive those experiences in the moment. So
Yeah.
sometimes it is just us. We fuck shit up because we're not in the right space to deal with certain.
Yeah, I think that's I don't know, man. That's just always a fucking like I had that conversation. My favorite like progressive male that doesn't fully grasp how progressive he is, my dad. Um fucking we were having a conversation yesterday and we were having, usual comparisons between kind of, we have our like little social human services like talks because he's always coming from the corrections aspect and we kind of do a little mix and match. And, he just loves a good fucking talk at this point. He's at a, old niggas that they like. He likes a porch. He likes a good, a good stove, liquor and a talk. So as he's sitting there, we were, and he's also a reason why like you motherfuckers who just be having just like such a hard time finding a different perspective. I'm really like giving y'all that much of a break. There's a nigga who's in there with the prisoners be hella ready for the other side of the topic. So, anyways, we were talking and we were speaking about, yeah, somehow we got on the topic of like same thing I'm doing here, old clients, old conversations or whatever. So he immediately, built in, led with that fucking correction shit. And then we started sprinkling in like, well, you would make that choice to get you in that spot if all you've known is this, this, and this. And it was like, you're right. It makes sense. I think about that, like you said early on, we talking about all this shit with these like parents and these kids. It's like you can't do all the fucking I don't know, man, whatever parenting pages everybody following. Because you don't know where the fucking next meal is coming from. And motherfuckers gotta stop pretending like that's why how that shit is not wildly important to how you function in life. You need to have capacity, y'all pour in my cup, I'll pour in your cup. We pour in each other's cups. If my cup is full of I gotta work all these shifts to make sure we break even over here. This motherfucker has to eat. This nigga has asthma and somehow the fucking insurance did a weird lapse. So now we have to figure out how to make sure that this extra super duper fucking nigga, you don't really have time to process daddy, mommy, how we feel. I don't know, nigga. I'm on my autopilot, got an autopilot.
Absolutely. I think I factor in, at least for the time, since everybody and their mama is neurodivergent these days. Like we're not factoring in that parents are navigating children with some sort of, let's say, mental or emotional discourse that they're not even privy to in their own life, let alone I have to be aware of it in this child. My child got anxiety. My child is on the spectrum. My child has ADHD. What the fuck? I just thought this nigga need to sit down before I beat his ass sometimes. Like I don't really understand what this means. And then us trying to be better parent because we had the shit existed when we was kids. But our parents would just be like, that nigga ain't got ADHD. He just need to sit the fuck down when I tell him to sit the fuck down. If he don't listen, I'm gonna pop him one. Whereas us, we're trying to be better of like he has ADHD. Okay, I'm trying to be sensitive to that. Sometimes I feel like he need his ass whooped, but the doctor said this is what he got. So I'm gonna try and work with it in the midst of navigating all the other stuff that I got. I know it can go in a number of different ways, but
I ain't trying to
I'm gonna
Umar this
let you
bitch.
share your thoughts.
Yeah, I ain't trying to Umar this bitch. I'm cool with the diagnosis of stuff as long as we're hitting criteria and the shit makes sense. But also have experience a little bit. Just saying, this motherfucker don't listen to me. This motherfucker, and you're right. That motherfucker's not listening to you. But also, that motherfucker's 10. He's hella fucking energetic. You've given this nigga a screen since he was 7. He should go outside. So, like, yeah, he's bouncing over the walls, but also you've turned this house into a fucking prison, lady. I know what I just said, and I meant that. But for some, it's an active choice to have these motherfuckers. I have no qualms with that layer in life, but also I don't have any because I just ain't ready yet. Because I would like to provide said little fucker with a in my head at least a good setup of life. Because there's too many curveballs that I just can't prepare for. But I could put myself in a good, career financial position so I could go, welp, this motherfucker has to do A, B, and C today. Or look at you, because how you guys need those, like, should maybe have those 2 years at least in the early phases. Maybe I should set my life up so I could kind of like, we could maneuver that. Look at that. Look at that shit. See how that sounds? You know what I mean?
I mean, you're factoring in that people are planning these things intentionally and doing them on purpose.
It was intentional. Yeah, back to fucking Halle Berry shit. Yeah. Yeah. Let's get fucking intentional about that goddamn shit. Motherfuckers, that's exactly what we're saying. 2 rich motherfuckers. Halle Berry on top of the fucking world. Did you see that picture? That was Halle Berry when she was out there with the fucking Flintstones. I don't even think I know when did that movie drop? When was the Flintstone movies? I know it was before puberty.
99,
Okay, so it was before puberty hit, but I knew then. I knew the appeal. I knew exactly why that nigga was doing the ooga ooga. When that eyes jumped out his fucking skull. When Halle Berry was out there with Fred Flintstone, I fucking knew. I understood. Then, right here in the middle where you woke, with the pineal gland right there.
Yeah, I'm about to say I'm a little older, so for me, I knew when fucking Wayman Tisdale was fucking up work, strictly business and all. I knew then. I knew then when she
Hey,
started out and she was managing a nightclub and Wayman Tisdale was trying to become partner as a black man at a law. I knew then.
Love would have brought me home that night. Let me tell you something. Love would have brought my ass home that night.
Boomerang, absolutely.
Immediately, quickly. I'd had that big ass, that double breasted trench coat, that thick ass fucking trench. I'd have been home
Right
that
there.
with my little
With the
skinny
suit
mustache.
under.
So I get it. Halle Berry is fucking Halle Berry. I just to land this plane, and I've watched Catwoman multiple times. We obviously wasn't watching that shit for the plot. I know what the plot was. We don't know what the fucking plot was. Anyway,
It
so
was thickening. That's what it was.
man, it's the worst, best fucking movie ever. Terror. Anyways, but what's dog's name? Shit, I don't even fucking remember.
David Justice.
David Justice. There we go. I even before the clip, because the clip you sent, I think is a better clip because it gets the whole conversation. Obviously, you just be a me and go watch the episode. Nobody can do that. Okay, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't fucking worry about it. Um, I seen that clip on multiple pages, only talk about how they like, and it was suggestively clipped. Some not even that suggestive. He said we were young. Um, and he still puts all of it on himself. It just is kind of a fucking masterclass on like how you can take a thing and just run with your own narrative. That motherfucker said, I was young, we were young, and she wasn't doing things that I thought a wife should do. I'm a young man from the Midwest. I'm rocking this traditional template of how this shit's supposed to go. And it just didn't go that way. I, in my brain, completely disregarded that I have at the baddest actress on planet Earth, and I'm a fucking professional athlete. Like, why would I ever think that? So we get hot and heavy. We're pushing. It just sounded to me like we're pushing for the traditional picture and never ever played in or added in the fact of what it really takes for relationships to function. Y'all niggas saw that shit. Some, because there was a couple that wasn't, but some jumped in there. Imagine not one Halle Berry. Girl, shut the fuck up, man. Damn. You're 36.
Imagine what Halle Berry to be domestic.
Fuck.
Huh?
God damn, bro.
Like I get Holly looking the way she looked, but are there not like attractive looking female celebrities that are domestic?
That was the piece, though. I know. Like, you niggas, it's almost not fun no more. You niggas ain't slick. I'm no longer confused. Y'all heard that motherfucker say, looks
We were
wasn't,
young.
he said we were
Looks wasn't
young.
us. We didn't discuss morals. We didn't discuss family. Nothing. She proposed to me. That already y'all
Oh yeah,
glossed over
they
that.
threw the phone on that one.
They didn't pay attention to any of that at all. Because I would never eat a G jacket before I ask a man to marry me. This is Halle Berry, who is the pinnacle, and she asked this man to marry her. And ain't no way at that time David Justice was ranking for the men's the same way that Halle Berry was ranking for the women's. And she asked him and wanted to be with him and all this stuff. That alone starts off the dynamic on a different foot. But especially if we young and you ask me if I want to get married to you, you don't think having your family. Who's gonna cook for them? Am I gonna hire a cook or am I gonna cook sometimes? How are we gonna rate? Like those are conversations we didn't have as young people because we was just enjoying ourselves. And I was caught up in the fact that she is who she is visually. I made those mistakes. She made some of those mistakes. We're both even in the mistakes that we made. It's okay. And at some point through all these transgressions, we realized it just wasn't for me.
I
How
think
y'all take that and flip it into something else?
I think some flipped it and just didn't get it, but I think I'm giving people I'm giving people more credit now. I'm giving y'all credit of understanding and choosing to go about it the worst way. I think that there was a understanding that nigga said the very, very difficult thing out loud. I didn't cheat. I didn't beat her up. She didn't punch my mom. She didn't whatever. We got together under just youthful pretense and the traditional rhetoric, and it's much more to make this work. I, as whatever, looked at this amazing woman on paper and said this is not enough to sustain love. I know you motherfuckers heard that shit and said I'll blow this motherfucker up. That a man said, I think part of it is a man said, listen, you're hot, but like that's not gonna make me like love you or want to stay with you. A human being, man, I'm a human being, man, and I
Man,
require more. I require all that shit y'all be saying. Hey, I've said this before. I'm gonna say it pretty much till I'm blue in the face. I need what the ladies need. I need to feel the fire. I need to feel all that shit. Me too, nigga. I want to feel fulfilled. I want to feel like, oh shit, when I talk to her, I want to not, I want to, can't wait to run and tell this motherfucker what happened so that we can have a deep intellectual discourse. I'm sapiosexual too, motherfucker. How about that? My nipples get hard as fuck with a real sapiosexual lady. All that bullshit, right? Me too. I think the conversation came out and that nigga said, yeah, it just wasn't enough and now everybody want to flip the fucking table over. Like I think that was a I think there's parts of that that make that conversation, that part of the pod shit, the motherfuckers want to just burn the fucking world down because you know that nigga say yeah, it wasn't enough. We were young, and the framework of what makes a marriage successful and all that shit, we didn't have that. We just was two good looking motherfuckers that shouldn't have made that leap prior to. It takes work to make these connections, and what that work requires, half y'all motherfuckers doing, and that ain't even gender specific. People,
I I'll say to add into that part that they missed, because you mentioned like it wasn't something drastic that led to the relationship. It was just incompatibility and lack of healthy communication before we got to this point. But you mentioned like, yeah, I didn't beat her. He did all that in the midst of people having rumors of him hitting her when he actually didn't hit her. And she was already in a relationship messing with somebody new as they were transitioning out of their relationship. So I'm eating these allegations
what's the
just for the sake of escaping and saying that this is not where I want to be. I will take allegations or he's like, if
what's
you
so
ask her, she never said it was me. She never said I did anything to her. She just let everybody else believe it because of her image. So I'm sacrificing my image for your image. I'm sacrificing all this stuff just so that I can make sure that I'm not in a space that is not in alignment with me. How y'all miss that is
yeah, it was, you know, the conversation is I saw enough to not fucking feel like the world is coming to an end. Like there was enough people that was like, you know, everything he's saying makes sense. And even him like taking the reflection to go, like, I was not prepared for what this type of relationship cost. I thought, like he said, I'm a super Midwest guy. And not only that, he didn't just go, I'm a Midwest guy and I needed a woman to just be my fucking glorified
mm-mm.
maid. It was like I needed that. That's what I thought marriage was. But then even after that, like I just realized I don't have anything that I need in this relationship. I'm in the moment learning that I do need you to have this. I do require this. Like y'all got to start thinking about this shit, bro. I feel like we've said like it's billions, right? Billions of pussies, billions of dicks. It's at least a couple million in between of whatever the fuck you into. That's consensual and adult, not on no Trump shit, right? So if the proposition is that I'm the last fucking thing you're gonna fuck with, why would it not clock that I also have to be an amazing whatever the fuck, whatever the best version I can be, because you're not gonna talk to anybody. I think I'm a really amazing motherfucker. I think I'm a top tier nigga. I'm aware that Idris Elba exists. Chris Brown is on tour. Micah Parsons is looking for a whole fucking new team potentially. Shador is out here doing a fucking big one. And all you weird ass 30-year-old, 40-year-old women are now aunties want to fuck on 20-year-olds. So now I got to worry about that nigga because y'all are fucking
That ain't
weird and Shannon
that's
Sharp
not
with
new at all.
titties, but somehow that's okay. But I guess whatever. Um, so yeah,
Because
like
Shannon
why would
gets
I think
consensual.
fucking hey look, I'm never like I'm equal opportunity with that shit, you creepy motherfuckers. Um, but why would I not think that I had to be an amazing individual? So on the flip side, man, like not to say you have to fucking, you know, wash this nigga's feet, but why in here? Because love is a selfless act. I'll kill you on that hill. I'm working on it. It's gonna become more natural. It's a selfless act. We have, God damn it, if we have said anything on this fucking show, I know this topic statement has been fucking beat into the ground. If I think about how I love everybody else outside of the rules of romanticism, how I treat love for other people in my life, it sounds super selfless. I would lift a fucking truck for my kid. I would jump in front of a fucking fireball for my dad. Blah, 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 blah. So, bitch, why the fuck when it come to me, it's all the shit I got to do. Girl, fuck you. What the fuck you mean you care about? Bitch, you ain't done a fucking thing for me wait a minute now. What the fuck? Same for you. Like, as soon as a motherfucker start talking about that shit, it's like, I don't know what y'all really. Y'all can sit down, we can talk about it, but it's some
I
things.
mean, I think that. That's the accountability piece that we talk about in relationships. Because you mentioned love. Love is a selfless act, right? Like love is an action thing, and a lot of people confuse action, having to do the work, with a feeling. Love is I feel at ease. I feel like this work. This doesn't have to be so hard. It doesn't have to be work. It doesn't have to be this, and that's why I love it. And that's enabling. Because true love is going to come with some actionable things that are difficult, like it's a labor of love to fucking wipe your child's ass until they can do that themselves. That's not an easy thing to do, but you do it because it's necessity and you love them. That I don't nobody enjoy wiping shitty asses and diapers and all that other. That's not a fun thing to do, but you figure out
Unless you
how
go
to
to
enjoy
Dubai,
it.
unless you get on that PJ to Dubai, I don't know what you might not.
Those are those grown babies, and the booties that they's wiping is the BBL booties that they paid for in the first place. So
I them
somebody got
BBL,
to wipe it.
I them BBL booties wiping them chic booties with their faces. But okay,
Well, that too. I mean, that all the all the
mm-hmm.
garb that they wear, got
Yeah,
frontlets on it. I don't know. Maybe they take it off and it's just all beard, booty crumbs that they got. I don't know how that's working. But them grown babies, and that's consensual transactions that we talking about. That's not a labor of love. That's just
absolutely.
filth.
Yeah,
I paid for filth, and that's what we doing. But like to your point, yeah, we talk about kids or even pets and all this other stuff that we talk about. We're willing to do laborious actions out of love and care, but when it comes to speaking from our experience, a woman doing it for a male, I would. Why do I have? It becomes transactional at that point. I would only do it if this long laundry list of things is done. If said average man is spending up to $15,000 a year on a woman in dating, that's when I decide that I will potentially maybe contemplate, think about, allow myself to maybe do some minor labors of love, but not the full list. I'll give him like half the list. He got 10 things. I'll give him maybe four for this thing, which is bananas that you niggas is out here paying. I don't know if y'all saw that. I'm referencing a post that was put on the medias that said the average man is spending an excess of 15,000, not 1,500, $15,000 a year. That is a entry level salary somewhere. That is a high school kid working crazy ass hours, or somebody in college working. That is somebody being on payroll. That's you taking some college kid trying to get hours and experience, and you put them on payroll. That's what people are spending on dating when they average income. What's the average income for black men in America? It's like 35.
at best, I think I'll say 35 sounds good. 35 sounds.
I think somewhere at 35. That's the average for the average. I'm not
Yep.
factoring in master's level individuals, but for the average black man in this
Mm-hmm.
country, they making somewhere around 35 a year, and you telling me that 15 of that 35 goes to dating to take care of somebody else. You are dating my LLC because I'm writing all this off. There is no way that anybody should be spending that much on dating. But saying that to say they will do all that for the potential access of getting treatment that should be standard in a partnership, in a relationship. Dumb on us for agreeing to do it in the first place. But the fact that people feel entitled to get that first before they even consider doing mutual shit is beyond me. Thank you. You'll keep me in work forever. I'll never be out of a
I
job. But no.
think, yeah, I think, and I don't say this from no perspective of like never have helped and paid for this and done that. Just from a step back lens, boy. Like, and I harp on the love, the connection, the blah blah blah. And I'm still not. I'm not licensed. I'm still very much dancing in my just associate space. Man, the way that I think about money now, the way that I think about the trajectory of what niggas' lives could be, I think about it in me being just personal. I think about it from family perspectives, from shit that we've talked about, shit that me and my sister talked about. And it's like, bro, I just like you're not gonna come into this and try to find any way to figure out how we can, that shit, that video years ago, a couple years ago, I think, where Channing Crowder talked about that co-pilot shit with his wife. It just, man, I did it before. I had said that joke on here a number of times. I didn't look at that Cash App. And Cash App is wrong for that. Like Cash App give you that little bar. And that bar, I think, can tell you about your relationship. You look at that bar between you and whatever the person is, and just look. Is it like doing? It don't do like that motherfucker do like it do you like this, and then you look at them saying, "Come on, man." There's something. There's just. I feel like there's just something about. Sometimes I look at that as like, okay, man, that's how much you kind of might give a fuck about me, because like, do you know y'all in a relationship, y'all are in an intimate space, you kind of know how this motherfucker. So you look at this person as just said resource. But off the lady bags, this is like you said, just said niggas. It's like, bro, this the shit only shifts when you I don't when I don't have no fucking because y'all be saying all the corny poetic shit on the internet. You are the director of your life. You set the parameters for how a motherfucker interacts with you. I sometimes come on here and be grasping the straws in the relationship space because I'll be in the house. Because I feel like, and actually, it's not just me. There's a couple niggas out, shout out to my select group of niggas who are like, I don't really know what these niggas are talking about because I haven't experienced it in quite a few years. Because as soon as you start going any of this other shit, I just patiently bow out. I respect your, I respect your desire to want what you want, need what you need in life. I don't really have I'm gonna get my jokes off, but I don't have. I despise for all the good reasons, all the fucking He-Man woman haters type niggas, the Andrew Taters, the red pillars. But also I do understand that like both sides are giving each other shit to talk about because we done kicked it 3-4 times, right? Now each of these times spend a little penny. It's not a bunch, but I am observing your mannerisms. I am observing like how we are interacting. I ain't even say give me no ass. But if that's all you got, well, then I want some ass. You ain't said no jokes. You ain't really asked me no questions about what the fuck I got going on. You've been interviewing me as like a research. And niggas know them questions. You niggas gotta stop walking around like you with this big fucking Neanderthal. Nigga, you didn't peep the play. You didn't heard her say, oh my God, whatever the fuck about your job. You didn't heard her say this, and this about this. And they all lead back to, oh, these are checklist questions. Nigga, you don't fucking like me. And you can choose to go about that whichever way. I'm not saying you're not a likable nigga, my boy. What I am saying, though, is it is your fault. Because you know who you're talking to. Or you know at least where she's at in her life. She might be an amazing person. She's just not that person for you. And now you have to make that choice. That just say all that to say is like, you can always just not engage with that. So you got a certain type of shit to say to me. I know for a fact. I know I've said this since like high school's too far back, but probably like college, where it's like you could potentially line up a couple motherfuckers. It's 7 completely different niggas they're gonna get. Not because it used to be because I was like faking it, but right about now it's because we never got to level 10 me. We had those fucking conversations. You only know me at level 3. Why the fuck would I bring that up? I be talking to you like we cool. I don't got no diss for you, but like, and I'm not fucking some doc. I could be I haven't applied. I could be a doctoral candidate, but I'm not I'm not trying to say like anybody's high, but man, we only interact in these spaces, and you're not finna make me. I'm not finna do all the work. I'm not finna drag you across the finish line. Do you want to talk about this? Be fucking cool or not. I think your ass is fat. I like it. That's cool.
Can I talk to you in these regards? I mean, I posted something about that a few weeks ago. There's like some post a guy put up. It's like women will be, uh, he only likes me for sex. That's all men want. Just that and the other, blah blah. And his point was basically what you're saying. Like that's all you got. I wanted more. I'm looking for more. I have a criteria of what I would like to have of more, and you ain't got it. You don't fit it. So I'm gonna leave you in the category that you fit. If you don't fit in this category of my criteria, if I am David Justice, I don't care if you Halle Berry, you got to go.
Do you
You
know
don't fit what I need.
how depressing it must be to bag Halle Berry, go back to the house, and this motherfucker is just not cool? Not to kick Halle Berry. I don't know Halle Berry, but you just like,
No, I don't know.
damn.
I think Holly then is different than Holly now.
Yeah, but I'm like, okay, let's set sidestep Halle Berry. But it's some niggas out there right now, as we speak, across
Hmm.
when this becomes immortalized across the internet spaces. You got you a Halle Berry. That motherfucker is beautiful. Work of art. You be ready to cry every night y'all fucking hang out because you just like, God, this sucks. You haven't laughed authentically in 6 months, nigga. Like right there,
I
you
have
ain't
been
doing
there.
one of those in 6 months.
And yeah, I have been there. Not, I don't think I've been in a relationship with somebody like that. At least not in the good parts. Probably towards the end of a relationship. I mean, I've gotten to that point a little bit. But I've had like if I show you the picture, you'd be like, yeah, and I'd be like, yeah, she's no, no.
And I could even
And
think,
I can applaud myself for having the fortitude to be like, nah, and just never talk to you again. Because how you look ain't enough. You can't communicate. I can't even get you if I can't even get you to send hey, good morning. I thought about you. Just wanted to say what's up text every once. If I can't even get that, I don't care how good you I haven't chased somebody since I wore a helmet and I got paid to do it. When I chased people, I got paid to do it. I'm not chasing anybody for free. I don't chase clients.
nah,
I put it's out there and you know where to find me if you would like my services. And then I'm still gonna vet you. We're gonna vet each other because it still may not be a good fit, no matter how much money I may get from working with you. I'm not chasing nata. Hello T nata. I'm not chasing none of it.
yeah, I think motherfuckers, and this is comes with, and I something that I feel like not even feel like this is deeply therapeutic. You can find better language than my favorite thing to hate is she's a good girl. Like you owe it to yourself and you owe it to your partner, you owe it to y'all's relationship, the fucking kids you might have, whatever. Um, to establish what it is you really need and want from a partner and relationship that doesn't just come with the utility or the fucking skill set that a regular adult can have. You were supposed to be, I find you attractive. We look at each other. You're supposed to be able to wash your ass and go to work. Like, I would like you to have a good job because shit costs money. I want you to be able to be self sufficient because you're a grown up. Those little intricate pieces, man, that's what makes the shit. And you, nigga, I feel like you don't see that. Or she see that enough, like on TV, but people don't really express enough to be like, yeah, this is just not connecting. I don't have no beef with you for real, but this ain't it. You're not, you're not kind. You're not empathetic. Um, Sense of humor is not necessarily there, and whatever the fuck it is, like whatever that post I said today, like you're so quiet. I started to make it more wordy, but thanks, I don't like you was fine enough. But I don't feel safe with you. I said 7 things in the past times we've hung out. Every one you had a weird criticism of. Well, no, I'm not finna talk to you no more. That's my
Yeah,
bread and butter. My mama laughed at that shit. My church
right.
going super duper mom went to that, laughed at that, thought it was funny, expensive. And my dad sat there and talked to me about Full Metal Alchemist. And I can't do that with you? No, I'm going home.
Immediately.
Yeah.
And will not think about coming back. But I think they for us and the lady folk, just people in general, we may miss that. Like those are our vetting checklist for more deeply rooted ways of connecting. That's our, as we started off talking about in the beginning of this episode, rapport building. That's how I'm trying to assess what the rapport building will look like by throwing out things that are interesting to me, by throwing out jokes, by talking about different topics or talking about this, different that. And if you are rejecting those things or showing no interest in them or showing no alignment with them, I'm supposed to sign a long-term contract to be here.
Hey man, you check a motherfucker, you look at a motherfucker DMs, nigga. This 70% of this shit is geek jokes, political shit, and weird spaces where these two things interject. You won't talk about none of this, you don't understand none of it, it ain't hitting. Nah, man, what the fuck is we talking about? I don't give a shit about thick juicy doll on Basketball Wives unless we finna just completely dissect how this is detrimental to the fucking community. You want to talk about this is like an action man? Fuck no, it's not a real. I don't. It's a real person, but like nigga, shit. You fuck about this? I think this shit is trash.
I don't want to talk about Love Island. I don't want to talk about what's the other shit that's supposed to be out now? Something with Hunting Wives or some shit like that. I
God,
don't
I don't.
I don't want to talk about none of that. Like you said, unless we gonna dissect it from a mental health, psychological perspective, not watching it for what it is, but watching it to dissect the behaviors behind it as an analogy or analogous theory type of situation. I don't care about none of that. I wrap my brain enough scrolling on this shit every day, looking at least 70% beneficial stuff. I'll say 60 because it's a pretty high amount of cheeks that I see. But it'd be gym cheeks. It's gym cheeks. So it balances. It's fitness and informational and it's buns at the same time. So,
Hey
that could fit
man,
in a multiple category.
I've taken the understanding that that's just gonna like fuck up my feed because I honestly do steal some of the workouts from the ladies.
Mm-hmm.
They be having the thick asses, and that should say, "Oh, you like this, do you?" And then it just be big, just big wide asses, and I'm like, "All right, man, my fault." I'll just put it
My,
next to the
my
anime
bad.
and just scroll up.
Yeah, yeah. Just going
Um,
about my business.
I don't have much on this because there's not much information on this. Shikari punched her boyfriend. Not punched. She shoved him. She shoved him
She
a couple
shoved
times.
him.
She shoved him. I don't have much on the Shikari thing outside of like I always give the youth fucking uh not justification, but like understanding that young people do stupid shit in relationships. I do think it's wrong. I do understand the fucking sidebar conversation that if the roles were reversed, if Dog was shoving her, we would be all like have our pitchforks. So I don't want her to go to jail or no shit. I feel like, you know, you gotta learn to process that shit. My main thing is also always with the fucking community because I saw enough people kind of I feel like handle it in a balanced way. But there's a few of y'all, and that kind of ties into what we just went on a rant about earlier about nigga just kind of be aware of who you talking to and know when to shove these motherfuckers aside. Because if I see you up here going like, well, you got to understand that if you put her in that position, no disrespect, I need that motherfucker out of my life. That's just dangerous. Whoever says that or starts saying that shit is dangerous. I might have rolled with you until I saw the video. Dog was doing what any nigga has done. I have been niggas. I'm gonna all right, I don't even wanna whatever. I'm not saying he was in the right. I'm saying they could have gotten a legit argument that he was wrong. Bro, you start shoving this motherfucker in the middle of the airport, you gotta get your shit together. Like I can't even focus on what if he is a piece of shit. I don't know. Because you don't do that.
I, I don't disagree with that side. I'll shoot a little bit aside, bail to the other side, in that it's niggas out here getting abused way worse than that on a regular basis. So how many
Mm-hmm.
women would be in the same circumstances if we actually press the line the way we're supposed to? I think they're only doing that because it's her and because she's a celebrity. They
Yeah.
already put her underneath the microscope. Because I well, not in the neighborhood out there. Maybe, maybe. But I can walk outside and come across somebody having that type of interaction in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
not hard at all. Of any racial demographic, especially you say on Friday or Saturday night after the drinks have flown and there's a club. I can see any white or Latino. Uh, I'll say the Latina is the one pressing the line, but anyway, well, you understand? Wait a minute, no, wait, I'm talking to you right now. Like, don't fucking ignore. You can see
Nah.
that shit every weekend on a regular basis. So if what Shakari did was considered domestic violence for her to get arrested, and that kind of puts some of her things in jeopardy. It's cops up and down every road that got clubs and bars and all that long, and I don't see them arresting women acting like that. So part of
But
that, I think, is just coming because it's her and because she's a celebrity, which isn't entirely fair. Because I don't think she went overboard. Did she have A little bit of a meltdown, yes. Does she need to work on her emotional explosiveness and her emotional maturity and controlling that? Absolutely. Because in the middle of an airport is bananas. You couldn't wait till we got in the car. At least Ike wait till he got in the car with Tina.
Man,
You couldn't wait till you get in the car.
yeah, yeah. I think for me, like, yeah, it's kind of two conversations. I don't need no fucking Shakari going to jail shit. I'm,
It's not that
Shakari
serious. Not
fan,
that.
want her to, I guess want them both, yeah, to be successful. I think, yeah, that conversation of, yeah, keep your fucking hands to yourself. Um, yeah, work.
Well, I don't know. Because we can get into the racial part. I mean, we ain't gonna do that today, but we can get into the racial part because we canceled Kang out here for that nigga running away from an ass whooping, and she did more than shove that nigga.
I mean,
So and she was painted off as the victim.
yeah,
So Shakira do a little shove. She do way less than the white woman, and she get arrested and charged with domestic dispute and all that other stuff. Where this woman left marks, and she was looked at as the victim. And a nigga almost lost his whole career for running away trying to defend himself. So there's so many different angles that we can look at from this. We ain't gonna do
yeah,
it today, but we don't have to because y'all already know the truth of a lot of this shit. Y'all just be ignoring it, but okay.
yeah. Personally, for them, I can hold space for her. I always kind of, broad look, macro, community wise, society wise, whatever. Yeah, I kind of lean towards yours because it's like, I think about some of the motherfuckers who, maybe super uh critical or like you never know about whatever Shakari, and it was like, yeah, and y'all was ready to like crucify dog. And I'm not trying to be like Captain fucking playing the milk or whatever, but they shit, this motherfuckers, that's with the community that hate him
Mm-hmm.
still. He got him a nice wife. They take cool pictures together and shit. They be all in love, and it's still, jury's now still out on him for some of us because the fucking studios and already blackballed him, which is fucking crazy to me. But yeah, man, I don't know, man. Some of that shit, overall is wrong, but also I don't feel like she should fucking have her whole career ruined or whatever. Uh,
Not
I
at
don't like
all.
that shit.
I
I'm not a
mean,
fan of it. So
Diddy did the whole damn Macho Man Randy Savage elbow drop on bitches in the
oh
hallway
yeah.
and got off scot free. And we can talk about how the money dynamics, how money can
Yeah.
affect how that looks for you. There's so many different examples of how these conversations can go.
Damn. Hulk
So
Hogan, Hulk Hogan did die. And some of you niggas was
they,
like real weird about like celebrating him or the criticisms of him. And you should be kind of ashamed of yourself. Cause like I'm an attitude era kid. You know what I'm saying? Born in the
yeah,
USA, never rock my socks. Uh,
no,
I don't plan to sit up here and like kick Hulk Hogan's back in. I don't have that passion about it, but I don't feel any way about people letting it be known that like this wasn't a good person. So uh yes, and I'm not, I'm mainly talking to my brothers. There was a couple of y'all acting real unusual over Hulk
Hulk
Hogan.
Hogan was my hero. I can't say
Yeah.
that about the Hogan.
Uh,
Which I understand to a degree, but my daddy raised me to pay more attention to Football Beware and Junkyard Dog. So I was never really a Hulk fan. I appreciated his star power.
I just there's not enough stardom to me to overshadow you as a person. I can
Saying that
appreciate,
you
yeah, nigga, like I
don't
can
want your
appreciate
daughter
what you
getting.
did. Like the wrestling matches was cool. I want to say that wasn't Hulk Hogan in a didn't he fucking pull up in one of those Three Ninja movies? I love the Three Ninjas.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love the Three Ninjas. That doesn't make you not a fuck. Like we all fucking, words fucking word to be. 12 play and step in the name of love is fire. I don't have any interest for that nigga to leave that jail. Stay there. I don't feel bad. I don't anytime anybody brings up R. Kelly in prison, it means it doesn't make me feel any which way. I go right on about my day and the music was still good. I can put him in all the top 10 R&B lists and acknowledge that shit dog
You can
ass person
play
that deserves to be.
Chocolate Factory all day long.
Oh,
Like
yeah, and
enjoy
get
the music.
in the chocolate
I
factory.
think that's weird. We were some people were defending Hulk Hogan more than they defend R. Kelly.
It just I don't. I mean, yeah, I'm saying like I was a real wrestler. I got in trouble more times than I can count for turning the living room into a fucking into WrestleMania. Like I get it, but I'm also aware.
Telling somebody to suck it at school.
Yeah, like I'm even fucking critical of it from the sense that like Linda McMahon is part of the Trump administration.
She's in
Goddamn.
charge of education. Triple H is in charge
Yeah,
of.
it's like would you side eye Triple H? Yes, nigga. Like I absolutely think that y'all. I loved. I was like everybody else. I degeneration exit like a motherfucker. You're weird for standing up there with dog. Like all of y'all are weird. Does that put the entire WWE in question? Fuck yes. I enjoy that y'all are cool athletes and all the fucking backflips and shit and booty holes and all that shit is cool. Still fucking weird. And I'm still grown enough to, if it, it gets to it, I ain't watching that shit. Like, to be honest, I think John Cena's a cool, good nigga. I ain't watched shit. It's right here on Netflix. I ain't watched none of that shit yet. And they keep getting further ingrained in it. I was watching here and there. But yeah, like, I don't know. It's not that fucking deep for me. I can appreciate all this shit, how it made me feel. I think it's cool when I still might trip and fall into a WrestleMania, but that doesn't mean I don't got to look at this motherfucker and go, yeah, that's a piece of shit. Great fucking suplex. Piece of fucking shit. Athletic as hell when he did that backflip off the top rope. A absolute dog shit person. And he deserves whatever hell they send him to.
Well, I think people are selective because they still mad at Chris Benoit to this day for what he did, understandably to a degree. But y'all was clamoring about Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan disrespected the whole race of people. Chris Benoit just hated his initial family. And that's because he had CTE and depression and all types of other stuff that contributes to what he did. Not to justify it, but he had something literally going on with his brain and his chemicals that caused him to do some shit. Hulk Hogan, I just don't like y'all because I don't like y'all, especially not fucking my
I
daughter.
didn't stop. I don't like y'all. I stopped niggas from getting actual money. And like the way that this shit did wonders for me in my life, I actively stood in the way of that to happen to others, on top of being a racist. And I always will assign more stuff
And
to racists. Like, do you believe that he could? Yeah, because you're a racist. Like, you could do, in
a
my mind, there's nothing you can't do.
stout, stout Trump supporter. Showed up to rallies, had
And
T-shirts on, made
and Trump to
speeches.
me is associated with, if you, whatever fucking tag we've been slamming him with, he's earned it. So for me, the way that y'all, are very conservative, very Christian values. There's a staunch set of rules of which door you have, which pair of gates you walk through when this plane is over. So if we're gonna say that Chris Benoit went to a certain space, I just feel like maybe he was there waiting on Hulk. Let me show you around. Let me show you. This is where they're,
Welcome to hell, brother.
yeah, man, this is where they're preparing for the end of days. That's where all the hobgoblins and super demons are over there. They're doing fucking Lake of Fire practice. We got the fucking, demon boats. They scream when you roll. Like, yeah, fucking, yeah.
You can sign up for these weekly wrestling matches with the demons. They may
Yeah,
get you
man.
a degree dropped in temperature in your room if you win.
Yeah. Around, 12:12 on the dot. They bring Hitler out. It's a bro parade. They just do terrible shit to him. It's so you'll get used to it. You'll see it'll be lit or whatever. Like, yeah, whatever,
Mhm.
nigga. Um,
Here's your dinner, a fresh shit sandwich.
yeah, I'm running
You
through.
get used to it.
I'm running through these last two because they just LT was up there with Triple H. Coincidentally, LT's on coon shit. Again, fuck. I should have said this before. Really wrap this shit up. LT's one of the greatest fucking linebackers ever. One of the greatest football players in the history of the fucking game. Amazing. That man beat other teams, crack cocaine. He did it all. And then he stood up there with Trump and said, I'm ready to serve. I don't have much for that. You're fucking weird. Are you an amazing football player? Like, did him for sure. Are you a fucking doof and weird for being up there? Yeah. Do I think whatever motherfuckers want to, if they're going to, I don't know if niggas ain't even gonna ridicule him. But yeah, for sure, give it some. I don't give a fuck. Like, yeah, fuck that guy. Like a great football player, maybe a shit person. I don't know that nigga. Like, fuck you. Um,
Crack
and
is a hell of a drug.
I should have talked about this earlier when I had more like relationship forever, but I feel like we beat y'all over the head about it. I forget what pod he was on. Was he on? Oh yeah, it was not $1 million worth of game. It was fucking ugh. Same shit Halle Berry dude was on with fucking
Oh,
all the smoke. All the smoke.
all the smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will Smith was on there crying. I saw some clip of him being up there crying about the slap and how he regrets it. Or not how he regrets it, how he like was emotional when he saw his nephew. And I hear it. I believe, Will probably had an emotional roller coaster. We discussed Will at length. Will took up so much of this podcast at one point. Jesus Christ. I don't give a fuck about Will's tears though about this. Like I could easily just Will could have just fucking gave us that shitty album. Honestly, he could give us a movie because I didn't want the album either. I still don't want it. Uh my action star.
No,
Fuck.
you're not feeling the new will.
Yeah, I just all I need Will Smith to do is just be blockbuster Will, and we would have been straight. Um, I don't give a shit about the fucking reframing of the Will Smith as like a great act of you know black women love protection. Like there's instances of that I think are like dope. I'm not any of that shit. But I was like, that's not what that was, bro. We talked about that shit at length. I just feel like the nigga's human like anybody else. I just felt like this would have been a much better way to frame it because to me, it just looked like what it always looks like. For whatever reason, you and your wife are having a lot of weird shit out in public for us to see that I didn't need to know. And then you wrote a book and doubled down on like I now in my mind, I know that Will Smith used to fuck and then throw up after. I didn't need that, but I know that. I know for a fact that Will Smith used to bust off and then vomit. I I just have that in my brain. It hasn't left. I read that book years ago. It's in my fucking brain. So I know that the world knows that. Um, I know entanglement and laughing on that weird red table. I know all that shit, right? And I just feel like as given what he said in the book, how we all kind of have a general understanding of how trauma works and all that fucking shit, right? I just feel like it bubbles up during this night and then you pop off. And I would be so back in the Will Smith if you'd have just said that shit like, hey man, like that was it. Nigga, blank check. Get MIB fucking 7 going. I don't know. We still haven't figured out what happened to Hancock. I'm back in. Fucking Bad Boys 27, bitch. Sign me up. This shit, I don't give a fuck about this. Like, I don't feel bad for this. You shouldn't have hit that nigga. The joke wasn't that bad. I can't feel how Jada feels. I get that, but that's just bullshit. And again, from the fucking top ropes, man, more than Will fucking Smith, it is you weird some bitches. And the only solace I have is that it always shines a light on this motherfucker's a little weird because we're years removed now. And y'all still got in, I'll never, because that's what you fucking protect. Y'all are the motherfuckers that, damn, you wasn't gonna hit him. It's 7 of them. We're in a neighborhood that I'm not fucking from. You want me dead so that you can have this. He beat me up, and nigga. Hey man, hey look, my boy. Like, to take one from. I'm in Unc them status now. At the end of the month, man, we hitting 36. I'm Unc them from Unc them to you, young fella. Fuck that. Go home. That fuck no. Because life happens as a I once upon a time knew a couple people that may or may not have been little touch hogs. I might have had a little me, never. I was always an amazing person. But a couple people I might have known once upon a time used to kind of be on that type of fisticuff activity. that shit's not smart if you don't absolutely have to. That shit will put you in positions that you shouldn't have to. You can defend yourself for sure. But if the fucking entry fee for getting that ass is you have to beat up more, nigga, go. And that's why that shit sounds like. I know there's a few out there who probably legitimately enjoy the idea that, black men stand up. I would invite y'all to also get off the internet because I know a lot of niggas, right? A lot of professional niggas doing really good things in their lives. And I haven't seen it. I've heard that those niggas would still to this day go to blows, knowing that their backs would blow out. They would throw a punch, land it really well, and would throw out their sciatica. So I'm not saying that the internet doesn't whatever, but the way y'all are framing shit is bullshit. And I just don't give a fuck about Will Smith's tears about this anymore. I think that him and his wife should have more conversations about healthy fucking whatevers. Yeah. All right, man. That's it for that. Oh, fuck me. It's question time.
Yes.
Shit.
Oh,
It's question time. Time for y'all to ask us to answer shit. Question time. Damn, I almost forgot. Yeah, I had a question. Wow. All right, let's fucking stretch out, nigga.
yeah.
Should I got a question? What is the core roots of why people hate kids so much? Also, why do people who hate the person you have a baby keep procreating with them? Hmm. Um. Shit. Okay. let me try my hand at this. First one, why do people hate kids so much? I think I think that could be a couple things. I think people, if we're speaking from this perspective of people who have kids, I think those are people who might have we kind of touched on a little bit in the beginning. There's a lot of people who have kids but don't fully understand the weights, and you'll never fully understand it till you actually have them. But what it costs to be a parent, what it requires to raise children, and what that will bring up in yourself, any relationship, romantic relationship, but a kid relationship. Because in my experience, like, whatever, fuck what you say, like they're gonna watch what you do. So there's nothing like there's a mirror. I feel like that you have a mirror with your partner, but I do feel like there's a mirror of your children that really, really highlight where the fuck you don't have it figured out at. And if you don't have the emotional and mental range to kind of get your shit together, you're gonna fucking hate this kid because they're a reminder of your mistakes consistently. Like you're responsible for this person and you did something that you just weren't prepared for. That also goes into maybe a reason if you were that stupid old adage of man or woman, like you had a kid to keep the person or that weirdo shit. That's a whole other bad dynamic. So there's a lot of shit where you're just not in the space to have had the kid. Um and it's still a youth thing though. Because there's also motherfuckers that like these kids these days don't whatever. And I was like, well, yeah, nigga, because you are a Gen X or whatever. They don't like I was there for when the internet started. I don't know the mindset of a motherfucker who walks in first. There's kids now, their first system is a PS5. I played Nintendo. Like that matters. Like, motherfuckers talk about how kids interact. Like I was a drop me off at the mall. I've said this joke before, but like you had to drop me off at the mall. Me and my niggas had to walk around the mall, learn to like say hello. And I'm not Captain Spit Game, but you had to learn to say hello, talk to girls, get rejected, and keep your fucking shit together. Because at 3 o'clock, nigga, we're going in here to see if Peter Parker's finna fucking beat the shit out of the Green Goblin. So you can't fucking listen to XXX Tentacion and cry all night. We have to like figure it out. There's motherfuckers who grew up during the pandemic. They live on a screen, and personal interactions are so foreign they're uncomfortable. Yeah, nigga, you have to know that. You have to know you don't just have them. So there's that. A lot of people hate the person they have a baby with, keep procreating with them. I don't know, man. Pick a trauma bonds, bad shit with their parents, didn't learn enough, abuse, various types of abuse. Um, yeah, those are hot picks. Those are the top. top hot ones.
I would need much more context as to what they mean in the question. Because I don't think most people hate kids in general. They may dislike how some of the kids in certain generations act. But most people, when they see a baby, they'll be like, "No, motherfucker." They see a baby like, "Oh, he's cute." This, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. Do you want kids? I don't know. And it may be a financial reason why they don't want kids, or it may be a logistical, like, no, I don't see myself settling down with a particular person. I want to travel the world more, whatever. Like they have reasons for their personal selves why they don't want kids. It doesn't mean they don't like them. I'm thinking of is this question coming from a dating perspective of like, do they not like kids? Do they not like
Mm,
your kids? Or do they just not like you?
mm, yeah.
That's what I would want. Because some people could be like, man, based on her or him, but I date someone from that perspective.
Yeah.
Based on her, fuck these kids. I'm not about to put these kids is bad, and dealing with her is not worth it. It's not. I'm cool for
Yeah, your
what
kid
comes
could be
with
an
her.
asshole.
Your kid can be an asshole because you're a
Mhm.
terrible parent or
Yeah.
you lack structure. And I see this as like, I don't want nothing to do with these kids because that's more labor for me that I have to put into a situation that's not worth my effort or investment. So it ain't that I hate kids. I dislike you and or your kids.
That's a
I
good point.
will enjoy kids, it, just not over here in this household that you tend to thrive in. Because everybody, I see a lot of people that say they don't want kids, but they enjoy being the cool auntie or uncle. So it's not that they don't like kids. It's not they have godchildren that they spend time with. So you don't dislike kids. You may dislike, I don't know, I don't want no babies because I don't want to have to change diapers. I like kids, but certain parts of parenting I don't want to do it. So I don't come across people that really hate kids. I really think they just don't like you, they don't like your kids, or something
That's
along those lines.
that's a good one. Maybe not altogether. You might not like the responsibility of the kids. So yeah, I guess like a couple of those I feel like it hit the mark. If it's some other shit I
Mhm.
lost. Um goddamn, this is all right. when it when it comes to registered sex offenders, do you think
Mhm.
it should be once a sex offender, always a sex offender? Does being registered as a sex offender injure humanity? Or should you be able to be forgiven and given the chance to grow? Um, is there some kind of psycho theory behind the minds of sex offenders, more specifically PDFs? Or perhaps we should confirm that, um, or perhaps we should confirm what consists as sexual assault, as it's so easy to lie about it without consequences for the victim. That was shit, man. All right.
Mhm.
We. All right. At the beginning, when it comes to, do you think once a sex offender, always a sex offender? Well, no. Uh,
No.
no. I think definitely that also depends on the charge. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
like, technically, if I'm being extra nit persnickety, I feel like I know what you're just what you're shooting at, but in general, you could be a freak motherfucker and you out fucking with your lady in a public area, you're gonna get fucking smashed as a sex offender. You get drunk one night, piss or whatever, you're gonna. So for those, no. If you commit like sexual assault, I'm pretty harsh on that. I think like there is you learn your ways, you move on. I know that there's very case by case with that. I think that is like one of those, especially like working on the other side. Like I've worked more than like I actually give myself credit for now with those who have like been affected by it. Um,
Mhm.
and seeing the effects and sometimes seeing how like I can how do I say shit, this is gonna sound really fucking dark. I can pop my top and like off somebody. Like you can have it was a bad night, walked in, they, did something, we got in a fight, you shoved somebody, they hit their head dead. Y'all was fighting, fucked around, dead. You fucked around, scared, pulled a gun, dead. Like you can accidentally do something like that. And it doesn't sometimes, some of the sexual assault shit, there's a lot that goes into some of that predator type shit. And I hold
Mhm.
space for the mental trauma that usually comes with those individuals, what they've experienced, what they've gone through. Not a good high percentage, very high percentage were once victims themselves. So, in a nutshell, no. Once a sex offender, always a sex offender, no. However, it's a lot of work to get that off your jacket. And I don't know that everybody always does that. Because sometimes, when you speak to the PDFs of it, there's a lot going on that creates that urge. And a lot of times I haven't really seen nothing that says that that goes away. You can, choose to be a good person and not engage in it, but you might not be an offender, but that's kind of that's a tough spot. And I don't know that I'm justified to say that, once a sex offender, always one in that regard, but I'm a fucking realist and know that those type of urges and what gets you to being one of those like real offenders, you're not just getting rid of that. You're not just waking up one day and being like, I've given my life to the Lord and I'm gonna stop. Yeah, that don't, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not gay no.
Yeah.
I'm not
I'm
gay.
delivered. You're not really gonna get delivered from that shit no time soon. So
I don't. I've had this conversation, not this well, I've kind of had this specific one, but in general, because people have asked me, and I don't know if they've asked you the same thing. Like, as a mental health professional, do you think some people are just far beyond saving? And it's like, what point would there be for the field if people weren't able to be redeemed, to stick with the Christian conversation? People can change. People go through certain spaces, certain things you may not completely get rid of it, but it's manageable, right? Like somebody may not completely get rid of bipolar or schizophrenia, but it is manageable. Somebody can have these sorts of traumas and experiences and thoughts and feelings and things of that nature. And it may not 100% go away, but it's manageable because they've done the work to do so. There's nothing on this earth that would make me not humanize another human being. I don't care what your circumstances are. Um, I may not, whatever, just fucking, I don't know, what's that name? Manson, Charles Manson.
oh
I don't have to think you, I don't have to think you're the best human being on earth, but I'm not going to dehumanize you. You're still a human being. You may be a fucked up human being in a lot of different ways, but you're still a human being. You're just a very disturbing. Do I need to understand your mind? That's not my line of work, but I'm sure for somebody else in mental health, that is. That's what they want to do. They want to work with the severely mentally ill.
mind hunters.
Yeah, that's not really my thing, but I'm not going to dehumanize you just because I don't agree with or like the way that you think or the things that you do. That's actually kind of counter to what I'm supposed to be doing in this field in the first place. That would be me violating the oath I took to be in this space if I didn't have the ability to humanize any and everybody, regardless of what they do and how I feel about it. So I won't say once a pedophile or once a whatever, always or whatever, especially because we know that the nuance. So we learned that when we worked in the group homes and facilities. Like some of those kids had sex offender records, and that's just because I touched somebody that's a year younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
But we both kids. So since I'm older and we're kids, I'm looked at as a pedophile as I'm doing something, whatever. I'm 15 and she's 14 or 13 and I touched her or him or whatever the case is. Or some of them are older cousin touched me and I thought that that's how things were supposed to go. So I touched another cousin and now I'm looked at as a sex offender. And it's like, I wouldn't label that kid from a teenage age for the rest of his life as a sex offender without paying attention to the trauma that they experience, the nuance of it. Because someone could, I may not agree with it, but you can be 19 and you come across a 15-year-old. In some states, it's okay, and in some states, it's not. So you're looked at as a sex offender for that. I think you should be paying attention to other 19 and 20-year-olds, but whatever. In some states, it's okay. But are you a pedophile because of that? Are you a complete sex offender because of that? No, that's a little bit of a nuance thing. I'll also add into extra context, not to defend pedophilia, but a lot of y'all love white American culture. And historically, American culture, white culture, European culture has been motherfuckers choosing somebody significantly younger than them. Hey, a lot of y'all love traditional marriage values and Christian values and all these other things that you grasp on so dearly. And a lot of that came from pedophilia. There was a lot of young 25-year-old princes that was going to somebody's farm and for a land and a dowry and some sort of treaty. I'm gonna marry your 15-year-old daughter because she's had her first blood, so she's a woman now, and I can get her
Them
pregnant and
shit.
make her my wife.
You don't
And
even gotta go
that's
that far back. Them motherfuckers
you
that put this
some
country
do that
together.
shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's shit that still goes on now in some countries that are in that same alignment. Hell, some of them white boys that y'all love so much, they love going to the Philippines for a reason, which y'all ain't gonna talk about
Yeah,
that.
them founding fathers and below. So Big Donnie T is in fellow company up in there in that house. The motherfuckers was getting.
Absolutely. A lot of us got our last names because Massa was dipping in the back house with some young girl. You get to claim and be up in arms how I'm so pretty because I'm mixed. Well, guess how your family got mixed? Because somebody
Shit.
was dipping back in the back house with some underage girl,
Ooh,
and that just
shit.
turned your family into a blended family. But you just love that mixed trait so much. So if we really want to demonize pedophilia to the point of no return, not that I'm justifying the behavior, not that I'm condoning it, not that I'm accepting it, but if you're willing to look at one person and basically throw the baby out with the bathwater, we have a long ass history to look at. And y'all should be way more mad at some people and some generations and some families and some corporations and some presidents and their people that they connect with. Y'all should be way more mad at them than
So
somebody who could potentially just have got caught up in a bad situation.
I mean, I'm kind of a throw the baby out with the bathwater type of nigga. Um, I think you said the facility thing, and it did make me remember like it was one spot I worked at. I'm not gonna ever say no actual names, but like
Yeah.
they had, they would it was very close to like trying to catch them before lockdown. You might, it was one of those, basically kind of on the border things. Like either you just got out and you come in here to try to get your shit together so we can move you down, or
Mm,
sneeze hard, we can go ahead and send you back up. So you would kind of it was very institutional where you kind of get them separated by offense.
mhm.
So I had worked, I had, I did a couple shifts here and there on the pretty much, ex offender wing. And that's the only thing where I give my little like caveats to understanding, you know, in this framework of just sex offender, like what was done. Cause like you said, there was a few like that who was like, you know, um, there was one or two who legit was kind of, doing some freaky shit with, I think like maybe like a classmate, wrong place, wrong time, like at their house, parents caught them, you get a charge, you kind of get in trouble. They're in this spot because of what they got charged with, but they'll eventually work out and get back home, whatever. But I always found that to be such a crazy thing because they were in there in this, pretty sizable section of the facility with motherfuckers who was legit, they was on that type of time. They weren't,
Mhm.
and that was one of the things I like learned how much of, I can, how you say, humanized. And I think sometimes people abuse that word humanized, not obviously not you, but like um and people misunderstand it as a way to just, write a blank check to somebody is like, oh, we're condoning this. We're not, but you have to understand what gets a motherfucker to this. And
Yeah.
these motherfuckers are still, I think the max age was like 19. You might have like snuck in a 20 before they went somewhere else. So they're in that high school, early adult age. And it's like the couple that was like really on that type of time, some were like that reserve, like I hate myself for what I'm into and I'm in this deep depression and I can't fight this. It's almost like, like motherfucker, as crazy as this is, it was like you could see them in their moments of like Pookie and that crack. It was like, I want to not want this. And I don't know how.
Mhm.
And you go in a jacket, it's a whole bunch of shit. And then you have other motherfuckers who are sort of like them in the fact that they have a bad history, but they're in. I do this. Like, and it was that was one of the only times I think in doing this that I had a bit of a chill because I witnessed one of them kind of. It almost looked like it took over him. He like clocked in to be on that type of time, and then I remember like talking to him about something. And he kind of shook out of it, but like if he wasn't there, he might have done something in the moment. It was like it overtook him. So I say all that to say it did make me still humanize him. Like there was so much y'all haven't lived that much life at this point. Like I'm looking at these ages, like y'all been on this planet that long, and you've had shit that I take for granted. I have cool memories riding around with my uncle in his car, and we all over the city. Like we from one side of LA to the other. I never had any of those that you didn't have that. Like you had an uncle that y'all was on one side of the room to the other doing some shit that clearly shook your fucking brain chemistry. So
Mm.
um I don't know. I think it becomes a bigger conversation of like what empathy and humanizing look like. That doesn't mean that I can't hold you accountable for what you've done and be fucking realistic that you probably at this point in time shouldn't be next to other people in society. But I don't have to carry the you fucking monster burning motherfucker if I don't have to. That doesn't those two things. I feel like people have to get better at learning that, like, you can. I don't know, man. Superman will throw a motherfucker in the sun because he has to. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have to. I don't know. It just doesn't function, at least in this field, to not have the ability to. If you're savable, I will absolutely try to help you get to the other quote unquote savable side of yourself. But I'm also a realist enough to go, yeah, this motherfucker is. We've done all we can. I think that's some part of therapy that some of y'all don't talk about or people don't address. Is there is elements of this where it's like we've done all we can. We've reached the end. That motherfucker, like, this is a fucking complete fantasy fucking film, but the way that
Yeah.
motherfucker was chasing down Michael Myers, over with. We did all we could. This we did the best we could with the skills we had. It's some other shit rocking over there. So
Yeah. I
yeah,
think some people, when they look at our field, they think that because we exist and we do what we do, that that means a person is supposed to be cured and get back to what we think normal is,
yeah.
as opposed to, it may be an extreme example, but I'll stick with the analogy. He's saying he was chasing down Michael Myers, trying to understand him and all this stuff. It's like, hey, you may not realize all the work I did with Mike. Mike was killing every fucking body. I've got him to progress to where now I'm just trying to kill my fucking sister.
Yeah, man, like, that's
Like, I'm not trying to kill everybody. I'm trying to get to her, and this
uh,
nigga's in the way. So since you're in the way of
uh,
between me and her, I'm gonna kill you. But there's a few times Mike then walked in the room and been like, that ain't who I'm looking for. I'm leaving. Like for him, that's progress. So I think for some people, they may not add that nuance in of like for some people, like you said, we did the best that we could. And based on what they're struggling with, we've made significant progress. They're never going to be what you expect them to be or what your ideal of perfection is, but they've made progress. And that's as far as we can get them based on what the deck that they're dealing with.
oh, I think this would be kind of quick. All right, last one. Last one. If someone is battling a mental health disorder and a substance abuse disorder, is there an order in which the person is treated? Do therapists work in tandem with like substance abuse counselors and PCPS to help, or does one disorder take precedence over the other? What are determining factors? Um,
Like the person that asked that question, what's the answer on?
yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I
Trying,
appreciate I appreciate
trying
the
to
question.
test this and see. All right, man, this
Oh,
test
shit.
question.
That's what it fucking sound like. I'm like, shit, okay. Um, yeah, I don't know shit. Before I even like got with this company I was at, we had a that was part of it. It was with the transient community, and the motherfuckers had meeting after meeting. At the time, I wasn't in the therapist capacity, so it was a team of us. I came in for behaviors. Behind me was the therapist, and behind them was the substance motherfucker. Them motherfuckers was
Mhm.
getting rocked left and right every day. Everybody had something for them to do. Because you niggas need support after support after support. We all are everybody talking to everybody to make sure we're coordinating. Sometimes we do groups together. Yeah, motherfuckers, we do different things on, so You can,
I mean, yeah.
yeah, you can.
I mean, that's the understanding that when people have they have like a care team. Depending on some people's treatment, they're going to have multiple people working on multiple disciplinary ways. And I don't mean disciplines. Discipline, like, no, my discipline is substance use. Like you said, my discipline is behavioral stuff. Mine is medication. That's what a psychiatrist is for. Mine is the traumas and emotions. That's what the therapist is going to address. If it's youth or something, I may have a parent partner, and they're like all these people are a part of the person's care team. So, of course, you want to address the substance use because I can help you process your emotions all day long, but that don't mean it's going to get rid of your addiction. Is it best to sometimes we call it titration, where you kind of bounce back and forth between the methods that you use. It's helpful if I have somebody that works in substance use and they're getting their support over there. And I also have a therapist that's addressing the other things that contribute to me going into using or feeling like I need to use. Having both working together, maybe not literally together, but we're working on the same person together is beneficial. Um, but it kind of depends. It depends on the person. I've had plenty of people that come to me and they tell me that they have a substance use problem. It's like I can only help you with so much because substance use is not my thing. You probably need to be in a facility. So I would recommend you try to find either a substance use counselor or a facility to be in conjunction to my helping you. But more times than not, if you go into a facility, they're going to
they
give
got
you a whole wrap up.
they got a
They got a
whole.
whole wraparound team for you anyway. So that's the terminology I'll share with most people. They may not know what wraparound services are, but most people
That's
in
what it
that
sounds
type of
like.
situation, it's a wraparound service. You're fully wrapped in basically different types of support and care to help you get what you need. And it's my ethical duty as a licensed independent mental health professional to recognize the high acuity and the need that you have. And I can only do so much and refer you to where you get the best and largest amount of support, which means it may not be here.
Yeah, I will say I know most of my experience, yeah, is facilities or companies. So yeah, kind of like you said, like it comes built in because most of our clients are like qualified as high acuity. So at least the offer or the option is there. Everybody might not need all that. But yeah, the only way I feel like it would, in my experience, that it's ever been not in some type of wraparound, community care type service is like if it's just such an impairment to your function that you need to go to, you need to go to rehab first because we ain't even talk, like you said, we ain't even talk about shit because you need a hit like yesterday. Yeah, you got to go up in there first, and
Yeah.
you can maybe after you even go through finish that program, and yeah, that program would be like that other facility, like you go through the whole team gamut, and then maybe to continue a process afterwards, you shit low key for them. Like you probably will go to groups, and then if you wanted an independent look, you could do that. So yeah, yeah, I don't have nothing much to add. Uh, that's it, fuckers. Thanks for listening. I don't have a time frame on this, but I feel like this was pretty substantial show. So
Absolutely.
appreciate you for listening, and we'll see you next time, buds. Fucking like, share, subscribe, tell your mom and them, be all supportive and shit. Okay, bye.
Watch objectively and all that.
Yeah.
Y'all enjoy.